The Canon EOS M50 is capable of shooting extremely high quality video. It is Canon's first APS-C sized camera to be able to shoot in 4K, and it can shoot 4K at 24 frames a second, and it can also shoot 1080p at 60. And in this video, we are going to be going over everything you need to know to be able to begin to shoot high quality professional video with this camera. There are going to be two different parts in this video. The first part, we're going to be talking about the different gear that you need to shoot professional video. And the second, we are going to be going in depth into the settings of the EOS M50 to help you get the absolute most out of this camera. So first, let's talk about gear. Unfortunately, you can't get professional results by hand holding your video camera. You're going to need some sort of stabilization device. The video that you guys are seeing right now is being filmed with a $180 tripod. So that's what's keeping this camera stable that you guys are seeing right here. And you can get tripods that'll hold the camera still for around $40. But that being said, the shot is pretty boring and not very dynamic. And that's because it is an informational video. We don't want a whole bunch of pans and tilts on my face and on these cameras. It would get very distracting. So there definitely is a time and place for a tripod that's just going to sit there and stabilize your video. But if you want to get some really smooth pans and tilts, I definitely recommend picking up a video tripod like the one that the Canon EOS M50 is on right now. So first, let's talk about this video monopod. This monopod is by a company called Manfrotto. They make some of the best video monopods, and I believe it cost me around $280. But I'm also going to be leaving a link in the description down below to a much more affordable version of this monopod if you guys are interested in that. One of the reasons why I recommend using a video monopod is because it is extremely easy to set up and start filming, and it is also extremely affordable considering how much a full-size Manfrotto tripod would cost. This Manfrotto tripod costs around $600, so as you guys can see, it is much more expensive than a video monopod. Video monopods are great for running and gunning. If you want to drop it, you can easily drop it with a press of a single button. Where with a video tripod, it's going to be much more difficult. You're gonna have to bring it down and you're gonna have to make sure it is level. So for beginners, I definitely recommend picking up a monopod just like this one. Also, if you can afford it, I definitely recommend getting some sort of gimbal. This is the Maza Air. I actually did a full review of this gimbal, and this is an absolutely great starter gimbal if you guys are wanting to get some nice, more dynamic shots. And using a gimbal like this is really going to take your video to the next level. The final piece of gear that we're going to talk about is external audio. It is extremely important. It is widely known that people would rather watch a bad quality video as long as it had good quality audio than to watch a 4K video with terrible audio. So audio is extremely important and is also very crucial to audience retention for sites like YouTube. The audio that you're listening to right now is being recorded with a Rode VideoMic Pro. It's about a $220 microphone, but you don't need to spend that much. If you want to check out a video where I compared this $50 microphone to this $220 Rode VideoMic Pro, I'm going to have that link in the description down below. You don't necessarily need to spend a ton of money in external audio, but you just want to get something better than the built-in microphones on this camera, because the built-in microphones just aren't going to cut it in a professional environment. As you guys can tell, it's a little bit windy. This is what the sound quality straight out of the EOS M50 sounds like with its dual stereo microphones. But now I'm going to put on this $50 Comica microphone, and let's see if you guys can tell the difference. Now we are recording with the $50 Comica microphone. As you guys can probably tell, the audio has gotten much better than just the internal microphones on this EOS M50. So if you want to be able to take professional video, you also need professional audio, and that means getting a shotgun microphone rather than just using the built-in microphones. So that's it for equipment. Let's actually get into the camera settings of the EOS M50. Here is the EOS M50 all set up to begin to take some sample video. The first thing we were going to talk about is whether to shoot 4K or 1080p video, and of course how to actually change between the video quality settings. First, we're going to hit the Q just like this, and now we can see 4K is an option, 4K at 24 frames a second. Now, if this 4K, there's actually going to be a 1.7 times crop factor, so when I click it, make sure to watch how wide the shot is going to be, and you're going to see that it's going to zoom in 1.7 times, just like this. Unfortunately, this 1.7 times crop factor is going to make your wide angle lenses not so wide and more towards the telephoto range. When shooting 4K, Canon's dual pixel AF is going to be disabled. It's going to switch to a much slower autofocusing system, and that autofocus is going to be best for focusing on faces and not something like this pair of sunglasses we have here. So I'm going to demonstrate this autofocusing system. I'm going to press on this Ray-Ban logo, and as you guys can see, it took a little while for it to come into focus. Now I'm going to press on the sunglasses, and see if it can pull the sunglasses into focus. As you guys can see, it was kind of hunting right there, trying to find the right focus, but it just can't seem to find focus on this particular pair of sunglasses. So when shooting in 4K, if you're not filming somebody's face, you're probably going to want to switch that autofocus off and onto manual mode. The best way to make sure your scene is in focus is to press this magnifying glass. There's also going to be a shortcut button right here that's also going to pull up this magnifying glass if you don't want to use the on-screen touchscreen. And zoomed in 10 times here, we can definitely see that our Ray-Ban sunglasses is out of focus. So what we're going to do is we're going to grab the focus ring and we're going to pull it until it was an absolutely tack sharp focus. And now we know that our scene is perfectly in focus and we are ready to start recording. Next, we're talking about aperture. We can easily control that by pressing on the aperture right here. And right now we're shooting at f4, which means that the lens is wide open. Now stopping down our aperture one stop from f4 to f5.6 actually is going to make the scene darker, just like this. So as you can see, the scene got much darker by stopping down our aperture because we have the amount of light that was available. Now we're going to stop down our aperture again all the way to f8, and as we can see, the scene gets even darker. Now one other really cool thing that aperture does is actually going to change the depth of field. So as you guys might have noticed, when I stopped down the aperture, the Ray-Ban logo here in the background actually got more clear because using a higher f number is going to give us a deeper depth of field. So I'm going to change the ISO to automatic to automatically adjust the brightness here, and I'm going to stop down all the way to f22. And as we can see, now the Ray-Ban logo is perfectly in focus when we were shooting at f22. Now we're going to stop down our aperture to f8, and as you can see, it's a little bit blurry, not as clear as it was at f22. And now back to f4, where again the Ray-Ban logo is blurred. I could easily go on for 30 minutes just talking about aperture, but I'm going to spare you guys that lecture. Next up, we're talking about shutter speed, and we can adjust it right here, or we can also adjust it here on the shutter speed dial. So right now we're shooting at 1/35 second, which is a very slow shutter speed. And I'm going to do a quick little demonstration and record a quick demo right here. And I'm going to pan the video pretty quick, just like this. Now when I play it back and when I pause the video in the middle, our subject is very blurry. Now let's make our shutter speed faster and see what the difference. So I'm going to use 1/250th of a second shutter speed, and I'm going to move the camera back and forth really fast like I did before. And now playing back the video and pausing it right in the middle, you guys can see that the pair of sunglasses is much more clear than it was when using a slower shutter speed. There's definitely some times where you want that movement to be blurry, but then there's sometimes where you want the movement to be extremely crisp and not blurry at all. Next up is ISO. Now to get the most clear and free of noise video, we're going to want to shoot at no faster than ISO 800. Once you get above ISO 800, your images are going to get progressively more and more noisy. You can definitely take usable video using higher ISOs than 800, but to be conservative, we're not going to want to use anything much higher than ISO 800. I'm going to show you guys a little sample here. So I'm going to record this video at ISO 800, and I'm going to record another video here at ISO 3200. And as you can see with ISO 3200, you can see a little bit more grain, and it's just going to make your video quality a little bit worse. Now we're going to shoot at the max ISO here, which is ISO 12,800, and we're going to record a video using that high ISO to show you guys the noise difference between different ISOs. So as you can see, that was much more noisy than ISO 800. So my advice is try to stick with the lower ISOs. It's going to give you overall better image. Unfortunately, there are going to be some circumstances where you have to shoot at those high ISOs, and when that happens, you just got to do what you got to do, and you got to use those higher ISOs rather than just getting extremely dark video. Over here in the menu, we're going to take a look at picture style, where you're going to want to leave that on auto or probably the standard setting. We're not going to want to mess around with this too much. If you have plenty of time and want to play around with it, that's definitely fine, but auto and standard are definitely the settings that I recommend with the EOS M50. And lastly, I'm going to talk about white balance. So here we can actually change our white balance. We can do a custom white balance, and we can also change it depending on what type of scene we are filming. The safest mode, of course, is going to be to leave it in auto. And the last thing we are going to talk about is SD cards. If you want to be able to film 4K video without your recording randomly stopping halfway through your shoot, you're going to want to make sure you buy a SanDisk Extreme Pro card or any UH3 card. The card's going to have a U and then a 3 inside of the U. Make sure you get one of those cards and not one of the slower cards like these two cards over here. These cards don't have a fast enough write speed to be able to write the information to your SD card, you're going to want to get a professional card that'll allow you to record your video from your buffer to your SD card without your buffer getting filled up and then automatically stopping the recording. This is extremely important. If you spend thousands of dollars on your camera setup, make sure to spend the extra $20 and get a professional SD card too. That's it for this quick tutorial. If you guys have any questions, make sure to leave them in the comment section down below. I will try to answer all the questions that I get. If you guys enjoyed the video, make sure to give this video a big thumbs up down below, and of course make sure to hit that subscribe button, and then you'll be notified every single time I upload a brand new video just like this one. Again, thank you all so much for watching this video, and I will catch you all in the next one.